A lot of people eventually notice something strange about their energy. They sleep, but they do not really feel restored. They take breaks, but the body does not feel deeply refreshed. They try to be positive, move more, eat better, or rest on the weekend, but the overall feeling is still unstable. Some days they can function, and some days the system feels heavy, blocked, scattered, or easily drained. From the Tai Budon perspective, this is usually not just being tired. It is a sign that the whole energy regulation system has slowly moved away from rhythm. What most people misunderstand is that they try to fix energy from only one layer. If they feel weak, they want more stimulation. If they feel blocked, they push harder. If their mind cannot stop, they scroll, distract themselves, or force themselves to sleep. But the human battery does not work well when only one part is pushed. Traditional Eastern wellness has a very simple but deep direction. Nourish Jing, regulate Qi, and settle Shen. In the human battery language, this means protect capacity, smooth the power flow, and reduce unnecessary power dissipation from the control center. So in this video, we are focusing on one core topic: how traditional Eastern wellness works through the human battery model. This is not a medical discussion, and it is not about diagnosing or treating anything. It is an educational way to observe the body as an energy regulation system. When we say nourish Jing, regulate Qi, and settle Shen, we are really talking about how to protect the foundation, keep energy moving smoothly, and help the inner system return to stability. Once you understand this, many daily patterns suddenly become much easier to see. First, nourishing Jing is about protecting the foundation of the human battery. In traditional language, Jing is the deeper reserve. It is not just the energy you feel today. The second part, regulating Qi, is about balancing and fluid supply within the body. In traditional language, Qi is the energy flow, or sometimes called vital energy. It is directly related to the flow of blood, nerves, and other fluids. When we regulate Qi, it is about making sure all the energy gets where it needs to be distributed. Finally, settling Shen is about balancing the inner functions, or inner stability. In traditional language, Shen refers to the mind, spirit, or overall consciousness. When we settle Shen, we are really talking about creating comparative calm, even when many internal processes are going on. When we think of nourishing Jing, regulating Qi, and settling Shen, we are really talking about combining a physical approach with a mental approach, and we are starting to work with the internal power supply. It is closer to the body's long-term capacity, the part that determines whether you can hold charge over time. A person may still look normal on the outside, still go to work, still talk, still push through the day, but if the foundation keeps thinning, the system becomes harder and harder to recharge. This is why Tai Budong keeps emphasizing that energy is not only about output, it is also about whether the body can truly hold charge. If you really observe carefully, many people do not lose their energy suddenly. They lose it through years of small over-discharge. Sleeping too late, carrying pressure for too long, staying emotionally tense, working without real recovery, and never allowing the system to withdraw all slowly drain the foundation. At first, the person may still feel okay. Then they need more coffee, more stimulation, more weekend recovery, and more willpower just to stay at the same level. In human battery terms, the total energy index, or TEI, may still appear manageable for a while, but the deeper trend line is already moving downward. This is where the recharge window becomes very important. Nighttime is not just a period when the eyes are closed. It is the main window when the human battery should return inward and rebuild. But if the person keeps sleeping late, waking often, thinking too much, or carrying unresolved emotional background processes into bed, the recharge is incomplete. The next morning may feel like a false full charge. The person technically slept, but the system was not truly replenished. The battery icon looks full, but the actual operating power is unstable. Nourishing Jing, therefore, is not about aggressively adding more things. It is more about stopping the constant leakage. It means creating conditions where the foundation can slowly rebuild. Simple food, regular rhythm, calmer evenings, less over-discharge, and better use of the recharge window all matter. Traditional Eastern wellness often values steady nourishment rather than dramatic stimulation. In Tai Budong energy navigation, this belongs to the deeper life operating protocol. You are not trying to force the body to become powerful overnight. You are giving the system a stable environment where the original capacity can stop being hollowed out. The second layer is regulating qi. If Jing is the foundation, qi is the movement of energy through the system. A lot of people are not completely empty. Their problem is that the current does not flow smoothly. They may feel heavy after sitting too long, emotionally stuck after pressure, tense in the chest, cold in the hands and feet, or mentally foggy even when they have enough rest. In the human battery model, this is related to energy impedance. When energy impedance is high, the available energy cannot move smoothly through the system, so output becomes weak or unstable. This is why traditional Eastern wellness puts so much emphasis on movement, breath, and rhythmic flow. Slow movement, such as Tai Chi, Adwan Jin, walking, stretching, or guided exercises, is not only about fitness, it is a way to help energy circulation become smoother without creating excessive power dissipation. The goal is not to exhaust the system. The goal is to help what is blocked begin moving again. When qi regulation improves, the person may feel that the body is not necessarily stronger in a dramatic way, but the system feels more open, more coordinated, and less stuck. Breathing is another key part of regulating qi. Many people breathe in a shallow, rushed, and nervous rhythm all day without noticing it. The body then receives the message that it must stay alert. Over time, this creates a kind of systemic tilt, where the whole system leans toward tension and outward consumption. Slower, deeper, steadier breathing helps the body return toward balance. In Tai Budong language, this can support the Yang Qi index, or YQI, because the system's active operating energy becomes less scattered and more stable. Again, this is not a medical claim. It is a way to observe energy rhythm. The third layer is settling Shen. Shen is the control center, and for modern people, this may be the most overlooked part. Many people think they are tired because the body is weak, but actually, the mind is running too many background processes. Worry, comparison, planning, resentment, guilt, unfinished tasks, social media, and constant alertness all keep consuming energy. Even when the person sits down, the system is still operating. Even when the person lies in bed, the inner screen is still on. This is why the human battery may fail to recharge, even during rest. Settling Shen means allowing the heart and mind to stop excessive operation. It is like closing background processes on a phone. You do not need to destroy emotion, and you do not need to become a blank person. You simply need to notice when emotion has become a chronic drain. Anger, fear, grief, overthinking, and pressure are all forms of energy movement. If they keep running in the background, the TEI drops, the YQI becomes unstable, and the whole system becomes harder to balance. Quiet time, inward attention, solitude, slow breathing, and reducing stimulation are all ways to help Shen settle. The important point is that Jing, Qi, and Shen are not three separate topics. They form one circulation. When the foundation is protected, the flow becomes easier. When the flow is smoother, the mind becomes less disturbed. When Shen becomes settled, the system wastes less energy, so the foundation is consumed more slowly. This is the deeper logic behind Tai Budong energy navigation. It does not only ask, "Are you tired?" It asks, "Where is the system losing rhythm? Is the capacity thinning? Is energy impedance rising? Are background processes draining power? Is the trend line moving toward balance or depletion?" Let's use a real-life example. Imagine someone who works all day in front of a screen, drinks coffee to stay active, eats quickly, checks messages until midnight, and falls asleep with the mind still thinking about tomorrow. On the surface, this person may believe the problem is simply lack of sleep. But in the human battery model, several layers are happening at once. The recharge window is damaged. Background processes remain active. Qi flow becomes blocked from long sitting. TEI may drop gradually. YQI may become unstable. Over time, this creates a systemic tilt that makes normal recharge less effective. Another example is someone who rests a lot but still feels low. They may think, "I already slept. Why am I still tired?" But if their rest is filled with emotional tension, scrolling, irregular meals, no movement, and constant inner worry, the system may not truly enter recharge. This is the false full charge problem. The body appears to be resting, but the energy regulation system never really returns inward. In this case, the answer is not necessarily doing more. It may be to simplify the life operating protocol, protect sleep rhythm, move gently, breathe steadily, reduce stimulation, and observe the daily trend line. This is also where tools like EMAS and TRI can be understood as observation frameworks, not medical labels. They help a person pay attention to energy rhythm, rechargeability, and long-term system balance. The purpose is not to create fear or turn every feeling into a problem. The purpose is self-awareness. When you can see how your human battery operates, you stop blaming yourself for being lazy, weak, or inconsistent. You begin to understand the pattern. You begin to see how daily choices affect capacity, energy impedance, background processes, TEI, and YQI. So the real message of traditional Eastern wellness is much simpler than many people think. Bring life back into rhythm. Protect the foundation. Maintain flow. Settle the control center. If Jing keeps leaking, the battery loses capacity. If Qi keeps becoming blocked, energy cannot move smoothly. If Shen keeps dispersing, background processes keep draining power. But when these three begin to reconnect, the human battery gradually returns to a more stable and flowing condition. Not suddenly, not through force, but through steady adjustment and deeper observation. If this video helped you understand your own energy pattern more clearly, take a moment today to observe one thing. Is your system truly recharging or only appearing to rest? That one question can change how you look at your daily rhythm. Taiyi Budong Energy Navigation is here to help you understand the human battery, not as a machine to push harder, but as a living energy regulation system to respect. If you want more videos on recharge, TEI, YQI, background processes, and life operating protocol, subscribe to the channel and continue learning how to see your own system more clearly.